Welcome to Perfectly Imperfect, where women share their experiences and stories to empower one another. I'm your host, Tamisha Johnson. Keep up to date with all things Perfectly Imperfect by visiting our website, perfectlyimperfect.com. Now let's get to today's show. Hello, today's guest is Latoya Bettard, and our topic for today is couples infertility. So, Toya, I want you to discuss your journey with infertility. So, first of all, how long have you been married?
11 years.
Okay, so and how long were you and your husband trying to conceive?
I think when I had the miscarriage in 2016, that's when it really started. But before then, it was whenever it happens, it happens. And that's after the miscarriage, and it didn't happen like right away because usually that's when people have the rainbow babies. I started looking into making sure everything was okay with me. And then once I found I was okay, then I made him go get his stuff checked.
Okay.
So I would say 3 of those years.
Okay, so you were trying for 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and how many miscarriages? Was it only the one miscarriage?
It was the one miscarriage. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so going through that, so what kind of, I guess, like emotions were both of you feeling going through those 3 years when you were trying to conceive?
Disappointed, confused. You question a lot of things and just hurt because we know each other what we wanted, and in our mind we did what we were supposed to do. You know, we have faith, but it was breaking us down all the way down. So yeah, that was about it.
Did it cause any stress in your marriage?
Definitely, because you're gonna question yourself. You're gonna question, is this the person I'm really supposed to be with? Because why this ain't happening? It even got to a point to where it was like he was saying I wasn't having faith, and so that goes into an argument. But yeah, it just break you down. Like, you gotta be strong and have strong people around you. We used our church family because we didn't tell nobody until almost the end what was going on.
Yes, I'm her cousin, and I found out when I got the invitation to her baby shower that she was pregnant. So, but anyway, speaking of family and friends, I know that as a single 41-year-old woman, I tend to get annoyed when people keep asking me, when are you getting married or when are you having kids? So I know as a married couple, the natural thing is for people to expect you to start a family.
Right away. So you got 1 minute is like they're saying, enjoy your life. And then the next minute, y'all ain't got no kids yet. Y'all must be don't know what y'all doing. I need to show y'all what to do. Cause y'all need to move back home. Cause obviously the city ain't working for y'all. It was so much of stuff. And you get used to it. It's like you become numb to it. And my saying, depending on who it was, it'd be like, oh, when God ready for me to receive it, it'll happen. But once we start our journey and nobody knew what was going on, it was just like, you just have a look on your face like, shut up. But we used to come home and vent versus lashing out on people, because then that would cause, in my eye, more conversation that you don't want to have. So that's how we handle it. And I don't regret handling it like that because I wasn't ready for the questions. I didn't have answers for the questions people would ask. And I didn't want no pity party. Like, because you don't know what the outcome going to be. So I didn't want no pity party. Like, I just wanted support, like positive support, but don't feel sorry for me. Like I just never like that.
So what would you tell, I guess, your family and friends if you had to do it all over again? Like, how could they have supported you, or what would you tell them to say to you?
Even just if it's anybody, pay attention to how people react when you say certain things. Because I mean, we all fall short of saying stuff. But if you don't get a ha ha ha, that means something could be going on. So just don't do it again. Because everybody get that one pass. But I mean, if you got those people who just go out straight out and tell you, I would just say, just not ask, how's everything going? Because if the status changed, you would have known. To keep asking that question repetitively, that's annoying. And then they may fall back. Like, nobody wants to be around if they know you're going to keep asking that question. Like, that's not the highlight of my life. Other things is going on. Let's talk about something else. So the only thing I can honestly say is just be mindful of what you say and how you say it.
Yep. I know for me, at least I try to take this practice on. I'll try to wait until the person brings up the subject. So if they don't bring it up, then it's none of my business.
True.
So if they want to discuss it, then they'll discuss it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's my place, even though you're my cousin, to say like, well, y'all been married 10 years. What you waiting on?
And depending on who it is, you might go ahead and just let them know what's going on. But like me personally, I don't ever try, like if I came over and we are talking, you know how some people just take over the conversation and make it about them? I don't ever want it to be like, I want it to be a balance. If you want to hear, then you're welcome. But that ain't nothing I'm going to just put out there, because then it'd be Toya's. You know what I'm saying? It'd be all about Toya. And then you probably called because you wanted to vent about something, but it got lost in my little sword. So, I don't know. I just try to be cautious.
Right, because you never know what somebody's going through. I had an older cousin, and I just thought her and her husband didn't want to have kids. She's in her 60s. I just made that assumption because we never talked about it. Mm-hmm. And then one day we just happened to be having lunch, and she told me that her dream was to always have kids, but she had fertility issues and couldn't have kids. And she'd had a couple of miscarriages as well. And she was like, well, in her 60s, she got to the point where she could talk about it, but she was just like, it was really painful because she felt like something was wrong with her as a woman.
And honestly, all women gonna feel like that, because when you look at a couple, and I mean, who's carrying the child? The woman. So you're gonna automatic goes to the woman. Like, even with my mother-in-law, they kept saying stuff too. And so I had to pull her aside and like, look, I went and got myself checked. You need to talk to your son, because he don't want, men don't want to go to the doctor. That was a fight in it all by itself, on top of what we already dealing with. So I had to pull her aside and just tell her, like, could y'all stop? Please stop. Like, he never said anything to them about the whole journey. They didn't know until I put it out there. Matter of fact, when we found out that it didn't take, we were on our way to South Carolina. I stayed at their house. They never knew what was going on because he never shared it, because, like older people, especially Southerners, they're going to keep bringing it up. It's never going to die. Like, nothing is going to die. They're going to keep bringing it up. And he just didn't want to be irritated, because we all trying to figure out how to handle this.
So you said it didn't take. So just to go back, so you and your husband tried in vitro.
Yes.
So you tried in vitro after your miscarriage?
2 years after the miscarriage.
Okay, so for somebody like me who's not familiar with the in vitro process, how was that, and what did you have to do exactly?
Well, if you're dealing with the insurance, you do the consultation. The doctors definitely let you know the whole process. With my process, went a little quicker because the insurance was about to stop paying the 100%. So they pushed the process up. I skipped maybe 2 steps, but you had to go every week to the doctor for your appointments to give blood, for them to draw blood, for them to do ultrasounds. I had to give myself 3 shots in the stomach, also taking pills and vitamins. It was a lot. And the closer you got to doing the um, egg retrieval, because they want you to produce as much eggs as possible, oh, you felt so bloated. You, one day I was at work and I had pains on my side so bad, like I just fell to the floor. Like it was so bad. It was like just gas that if I just let this piece of air out, I could feel better. But you go through that. You do have a weekend where you can freely, like if you want a cocktail or have fun or whatever, you can do that. Other than that, it was really strict on no alcohol, no sodas. They're checking your eggs to see how big they get. So they want you to get at least like 19 to 25 eggs before they pull them, because some don't stay alive, and then they're going to get the sperm to make sure it works. And that was an outpatient surgery, where they insert the egg after they put the sperm with it, insert the egg into you. And my doctor then was in good spirits, so it makes you feel like it's gonna work. But I remember the day that I got that done, the nurse that draw my blood, she was like, don't be upset if your fresh egg don't take, because my sister didn't take, but a frozen egg would. In my mind, I'm thinking like, why is she telling me this? Like, girl, you supposed to be giving me good vibes. Why are you telling me this? 2 weeks after, that's when you find out. So it went from October to December of that whole process of giving myself shots and all that. Like, my mother came up here, didn't even know what. When I say I didn't tell nobody, I didn't tell nobody. She did not know I was giving myself shots or anything. So by, I want to say December 23rd, that's when I got the call and we were heading to South Carolina. And even then, because the symptoms are the same, you're like, oh, this might be it. But girl, they call and say it didn't take. And through the 9 years of me being married, Willie never saw me that emotional. And of course I broke down, like I had to tell him. And the worst thing for me was I already convinced this man to let's go through this process, and he didn't even want to spend the money. Anybody know my husband? He tight like a mosquito. So the fact that I got him to go through this process with me, and then it didn't take, like, what do you do with that? But I also felt like a failure as a wife, because now I can't give this man no kids. We got ourselves together. I was like, I don't even want to go nowhere. Let's turn back around. And he like, no, we don't need to sit in the house, not around the holidays, and do this. So we still went on, but that was tough.
So how many rounds of in vitro did you do? How many times did they try?
We just end up doing that one time, because right after that year, that's when I found out I was pregnant.
So you got pregnant without in vitro?
Yes. And that was a shocker all by itself. I cried so long in that shower, and he ain't even knew, because I was just like, why my period ain't on yet? And I was like, I know it can't be this. So I was so in denial, like it can't be. And then I forced myself to get a test, and I took it that morning. And I got in the shower, Of course, you like, let me peek at it. And I peeked at that thing. I said, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so the first person I called was my best friend. And I'm like, girl, are you sitting down? Like, I took a pregnancy test and it says positive. Like, what? She was like, wait, what? She was like, so you were still taking meds? I was like, mm-mm. This happened natural. I can't even tell you when this happened. Like, she was like, oh my gosh. I said, girl, what do I do next? Like, I don't even know who to call. She was like, call your doctor, call your OB doctor, and just let her know so they can have you come in the next 2 weeks. I was like, how am I supposed to tell this man this? Like, I'm so confused. I went through my my work day. And then when it got to lunch, I was like, well, let me looking on Pinterest different ways to tell. So I got a onesie made and say baby coming soon, baby arriving in May. And yeah, that's how it went down.
So I know you said you were shocked. So did you both give up after the in vitro didn't work? Like, did you write off not having kids or just accept that was like part of your plan or something?
Well, yeah, we had one frozen egg, but I just was like, I dotted my I's and crossed my T's. I can't give this no more energy right now. So our whole thing was to really take a break after that. Well, within that break, that's when I got pregnant.
So do you still have this one frozen egg? Does it still exist?
Not anymore. We let it go because too much was happening on our own. So yeah, after quad May, I want to say that next year, when I found out I got pregnant again, that's when we was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and let it go because you got to pay to keep it stored. So like, I don't know when this gonna happen again. So yeah, we let it go.
Yep. So you got pregnant with your first child naturally in what year?
2018.
In 2018. And then a year or so later, you got pregnant again naturally.
In 2019. Girl.
Yes, so she has, what is it, Irish twins? Is that what it's called?
Some stair steppers, something like that.
Yeah, because they're how many months apart?
A year and 7 months or something like that.
Oh, well, I thought it was less than that.
It might be less than 7. The months part might be wrong, but it's a year because quad is May and LJ is November.
November 29th.
To be exact.
Yes. Right after my birthday.
Oh, yeah. So.
So, I know it happened naturally, but how were you able to, I guess, remain positive throughout all of this? Like, what kept you going?
My church family, to be honest, my church family and my friends. I got a good strong group. But still on the inside I'm scared. Like, you scared because it's like, okay, this happening, but what else? What's gonna happen next? Like, this too good to be true. Something else gonna happen. I can honestly say out loud, I can honestly say with Quad, I was, even after having him, I was still scared. Like, I was scared to get attached because I felt like he was going to be taken away. Something was going to be taken away from me because this was too good to be true. Too good to be true. So a small amount of fear is never going to really go away. You just have to push through all of that.
So did you seek like any professional counseling or anything during this time?
No, just prayer. I mean, us from back home, we not saying that it's wrong, but we know between a good gospel song and somebody to pray with you, pray for you, you get through it.
Yeah, I was talking about, like the emotions, like being really, sad about it or whatever. Because I know sometimes I feel some kind of way about being 41 and not having kids yet. I just had a birthday.
You don't know your age.
I tend to still forget my age, but I know it can be hard mentally and emotionally, and sometimes it don't matter, like how much a person says, like.
So I threw myself in work and traveling. That's how I didn't deal.
And baking cakes.
And baking. And so I just didn't deal with it as much, and I didn't want to think about it as much. Now, you have people say like, don't think about it as much, but it's easier said than done. But when I just put out my mind like, oh, I'm gonna just be your auntie forever, and I moved on, like you still have your moments, but I just was finding other things to do. I mean, that's all you really can do. I mean, other than that, you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yep, exactly. So now we have Quad, which is his nickname, and LJ. They are ages 2 and 1. So can we expect another miracle baby?
No.
I mean, I know you don't put it off your mind, so another one could pop up. So, and I'm actually doing what I just said that we shouldn't do earlier. So strike that.
Okay, so comment. Because I was blessed with these 2 boys, I'm not opposed to it, but me and my body need a break. How about that? Because the tongue can be a sharp shooter. So therefore, I'm not trying to block my blessings, but in the same breath, she need a break. These boys is something else. So body need a break. Mama need a break. We just need a break. So no. Now, as of right now, the answer is no.
So how has it been during COVID with us working from home? You and your husband working from home and having a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old home all at the same time. So how have you been able to balance it all?
I haven't. That is the honest truth. I haven't been able to balance it out. Some days are better than others. I'm still crying that I'm ready to go on somebody's trip, even though COVID is full effect. I need a break. But it's been good to watch them grow. And of course, you don't want to be in a building with all this going on. So they have its good days and bad days, but it's no break. That's the killer. It's no break. You mama 24/7, and then you got your people at work who looking for you to produce at the drop of a dime, and then you got somebody looking at you like, I'm hungry. You just passed your daddy, like, for real. Why is you looking in my face? What's wrong? So it's been a lot. It's been overwhelming. And this time, recently, I did reach out for professional help because, I mean, I don't want to complain to other mothers, but everybody keeps saying, oh, it's natural. And I'm just like, well, let me talk to somebody to give me some other ideas on how to handle the overwhelming stress part. And basically, like, as being single for just say 9 years, or you just carefree, your house is tidy, you ain't got to worry about nothing, versus you need to wash clothes, it's dishes, somebody need to eat, like all this stuff going on, and it need to be done, and you just like, I'm tired.
And you have to be a wife too.
See, and that definitely go on the back burner. And they ain't right. It ain't right, but it goes on the back burner. So it's just like, how am I supposed to do this? So the therapist said to start with small goals and work my way up. Maybe put one large goal on there, but even if that's just washing your face, brushing your teeth, cooking breakfast, and starting work by 9 o'clock. To do it in that order is a goal. And so not trying to be so hard on myself, because in the beginning I'm like, because I'm looking at how I used to look at other people with kids before I did. I'm like, or I'm looking at my friends that's mothers that's doing it all, and it's just like I'm lost in the sauce. I don't even know where to start at. So that has been working, but it is hard. I mean, 2 kids under 2, it's hard. I don't even. My managers be like, "How it's going?" I don't even know what you want me to tell you, because to me, especially with people with kids, like you already know what it is. I don't feel like I need to tell you something that you don't already know. So I don't want to repeat a story that you know the ending to. So I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, but we're grateful, and a good thing is like you do get to watch them grow up. So, like those moments aren't missed per se. And they might remember it, like their mom was.
I was there. You're right. But Lord.
Yeah, and it's probably just, like a balance and perspective. Like I know, like I have a few coworkers who went part-time because it ate them up that they couldn't be there with their kids in the morning. And then now I think like some of them it's the reverse. There's like, okay, I'm over it. Let's go back into it. But it's all temporary. It's all temporary. So as we wrap up, what advice could you give to other couples that may be dealing with infertility or constantly being questioned about, when are you going to start a family? Like, what advice would you give couples? I would
definitely say you gotta communicate with each other. Y'all got to have that hard conversation before you even think about doing anything else, because there's gonna come a time in the process that it's gonna be hard. And what you not gonna do? Talk? I would say also, if you're gonna go ahead and start the process, invite him to come with you to your appointments. Let him ask questions. Please let him feel important, because it's your body that's going through it, but men are mentally going through it. Because even with Willie going with me to my appointments, it got him to see like we not the only ones going through this. Different cultures walking in and out, like it was an eye opener for him. So now he's able to talk about it just with other men. Like, cause men don't talk. They don't talk. And I also would say definitely keep God first. Like it's no way y'all gonna see the light through all of that if you don't like pray together or that. And y'all just encourage each other, because like I said, we came home and vent to each other about who said what to us. But that brought us closer. The whole journey brought us closer. It got him to see me in a different light, because I never really show emotions. I never really gave him the chance to see for me to be vulnerable, to know that he could be able to take care of me in that situation. So it was an eye opener for both of us, and it drew us closer. So even though the fertility didn't work for us, it was a different lesson that was supposed to be taught in that journey. So I wouldn't tell nobody not to do it, because it wasn't a bad journey. It just wasn't our journey. You get what I'm saying? Like, So, and don't try to do it alone. Like, that ain't a situation I would want to do alone. I mean, even just having a baby naturally, you don't want to do it alone. Nobody wants to do it alone, but don't push the person who's trying to be there for you out your life, all because you trying to deal with your own feelings.
Makes sense. And just one last question, because you said don't be there alone. Did you join any support groups while you were?
I didn't join a support group. I ended up finding out that one of my coworkers we were going to the same clinic. And so we bounce things off of each other. Or like if she had something going on and she was like, okay, do this, that. So we just used each other. But they do have support groups. And they have a 24-hour nurse that you can call if you have any questions. It's a lot. I mean, for somebody like, I wasn't used to giving myself needles. So for somebody who's scared of needles and you don't have nobody to give you that shot, like really scared of needles, I'm not going to get somebody who's scared of needles to give me a shot. So you just like got to encourage yourself to do different things. And like, those just one of those things that you just don't want to do alone. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying that it can't be done, but don't do it if you don't have to.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, thank you, Latoya, for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And we wish you the best of luck with Quad and LJ.
Thank you. I need it.
And Willie, we just wish y'all much success and a safe COVID journey.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Perfectly Imperfect podcast. Want more inspiration? Join our Facebook group, the Perfectly Imperfect Empowerment Circle. Want to share your story with us? Email us at podcast@perfectlyimperfect.com. That's podcast@perfectlyimperfect.com. And until next time, remember, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Talk to you soon.